Welcome to CannaGather, New Jersey. Are you guys with me today? Are you excited about the cannabis industry in New Jersey? How many? Oh, my mom is here. Okay. She just rolled up. How many people saw the news yesterday? All right. So how many people this is their first time coming to a CannaGather event? Okay, we got a good amount. And then the rest of you are regulars, it seems like, right? So if you didn't see yesterday, if you did not get that update in your email, yesterday we announced 6 additional license holders in the state of New Jersey. You should clap for that. Now, this is a great thing because it's gonna give our patients more access to higher quality medicine. So that's a great thing. And I don't know if you knew this, but one of our very own, Leo Bridgewater, is with MPX, and he was one of the awardees. So give him a big hand for all his work. There you go. There you go. Make him more. Do it more. Make him turn red. Make him turn red. Very proud of my big brother. So as you can see, the cannabis industry is moving at a rapid pace in New Jersey. Another round is coming. So if you haven't been here before, if you've been here before, this event is for entrepreneurs, investors, community leaders, and elected officials. And the reason we're in this room is to figure out how to shape this industry moving forward in New Jersey. And other than that, me and Leo talk about this all the time. You should be able to leave this room and meet your next partner, right, in your company. And if you don't meet your next partner, you can meet your service provider. We have insurance companies here. We have a private equity fund here. We have law firms here. We have plenty of resources for you available, and you're gonna hear from these resources as we go throughout the night. But everyone pay close attention. It's a very, as you can see, it's a very competitive race. You have to have the strongest team. You have to have the strongest resources. Now, the bill, hey guys at the top, hey, everyone at the top, everyone at the top, thank you very much. If you would like to talk, we're asking everyone who wants to have a conversation to go downstairs, all right? So let me go over the rules of engagement here. Do not stand in the passageways because folks need to move in and out. If you want to have your conversation or close your deal, please go downstairs because we can hear less of the noise, all right? Everybody good? If not, Leo will start yelling. We already know that. So with that being said, this is a very competitive race. Now, on December 17th, we were anticipating that the adult use bill was going to be signed, but it wasn't. And as we like to say, it's going to be hopefully a better bill moving forward. But if you are not happy, because we've been getting a lot of phone calls, we're not happy that these multi-state operators were the first ones to get an opportunity, the only way you can change that is there's only 2 ways you can change that. Number 1, partner with a multi-state operator. That's the first one, right? Number 2, you need to impact these laws that are being written. You need to call your elected officials and let them know that you're not happy with the way things are progressing with cannabis in this state. That's the only way it's going to work. Me and Leo cannot change the laws, unfortunately. We're trying our damnedest, but if you want to see something different, you need to advocate. You need to show up just like you did tonight to have a good time and network. We need to show up to city council meetings like this with 100, 200 people. We need to show up to the state assembly with 100 or 200 people. All right, so this is the holiday season, right? Which means we're in the mode of giving and making people feel great. So if you saw our emails, you saw that we had a coat drive. So I want to call Chelsea up here. Chelsea organized the coat drive. She's going to tell you a little bit about her company and what they're doing with this raffle and their initiative with the community.
Thank you, Ronnie. Thanks, everyone, for coming tonight. Huge round of applause for Ronnie and CannaGather, as well as Leo, right? Wouldn't be possible without them. Amazing opportunities to meet everybody. Just a quick word about meeting and networking here. My company and I, Grand Innovations, we actually all met together at these events. That's how our team was formed. And we're a Jersey City-based cannabis company. Those are my partners over there, Radcliffe Bennett, Matt Samaluka. So please, network, get out there. But a couple words about the coat drive. Just wanted to do something philanthropic, a give back. We appreciate everybody that's already donated. If you haven't already, please come down and drop a coat. We're giving away a $50 Amazon gift card, and we will email the winner if you're not here. So thank you guys so much.
Now, you guys didn't know this, but if you showed up without a coat, you're leaving without a coat today. So I want to call up a couple of our sponsors. Do you guys like this venue? Okay, great. So I want to introduce David Serrano from Harvest 360. Harvest 360 is our major sponsor for this evening. Oh, great. I like those lights. Okay, good. David Serrano is our, Harvest 360 is our sponsor for this evening. They got us this beautiful venue. David Serrano is a Hoboken native. Ironically enough, we grew up in the same building, but I'm a little bit older, so, you know, we kind of pushed him to the side. But he's become an expert in the space over the last 7 to 8 years, and he's going to tell you a little bit about Harvest 360 and what they're doing in the cannabis space.
Thank you. Get out of the light. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. It's such a pleasure to be here. Ronnie definitely grew up in a different age than I was, and he was slower at basketball across the street. And but you know, so we we kind of laugh on this introduction that he has everybody do. You know, I just kind of sitting back, and there's probably like $1 million worth of transactions that just happened there. So this is a really good opportunity, a good space to do that in. I was really fortunate to know Ronnie and to have him just like totally embrace me when I came back home and make me, you know, invite me to be a part of this community. It's a very special community. So Harvest 360 is a company that I founded with Todd Scatini and Sebastian Nassau in Colorado. And we specialize in biotech, and we do research and development on traumatic brain injuries. And secondarily, we look at post-traumatic stress. Obviously, kind of happens with traumatic brain injuries. So in that time, I've had the opportunity to lend my experience to this industry as a consultant, as somebody just to support startup. Between my partners and I, we've rolled out over 120 companies in the last 7 years, and I'm really excited to be back home now because soon, very soon, there's going to be a very special place here in Hoboken that will be a home to a lot of folks in this room to incubate and to create space for technology innovation, for business innovation, and bring all of those support structures. It's continue to create a community in this industry is really important because we can't do it on our own. We need to elevate each other and work together, and that's going to happen in these rooms, and we're really fortunate to be a part of it. And so in the season, we're talking about charity. I just wanted to thank Birch. Tonight, the liquor sales, the revenues from that are going to go to Open World Relief, which will designate some of that, 50% of that, I believe, is going directly to Marine View Plaza. There was a fire literally right across the street from us a couple of weeks ago, and 2 families are still displaced from that. And there's it's Christmas season, and we're Hoboken people. These are our neighbors, so we want to see them prosper throughout this season. And then the other percentage of that money, I'll let Ben go about it. And it's interesting because Salam was saying, everybody's in this room, literally any type of person. And, it was just like, what about a pilot? And he's literally a pilot. And so Ben, he's the executive director for Open World Relief. I'm going to introduce you really quickly. And he's a pilot in the Air Force and, in the Air National Guard. Same thing. He flies the C-130s on skis into the Antarctic and to the Arctic. He's running the scientific mission. So he's probably one of the most brilliant people I've ever met. And so, with that being said, he's taken over this organization that runs disaster relief efforts into places like Puerto Rico, Florida, North Carolina, most recently California fires. Very active, and this is such a worthy organization, and something about our industry as we continue to grow it. We need to act like a real industry and contribute and be charitable and philanthropic. So this is how we do it. I'm going to pass it over to Ben.
Good evening, everybody. First off, thank you, Ronnie. And thank you guys all for being here. Thanks for buying your drinks. It's been very difficult to raise funds, and this has been a community that has been very supportive from day one. David's folks out in Colorado jumped in right away, and we had Denver rock climbing and a lot of people from the cannabis industry out there get on an airplane when the airport was still closed, and we got people on the island getting help done 4 days after Hurricane Maria. So this is very emotional for me to have a room full of this much support because it's been difficult. And this is a community that I see more than just a financial contribution from. The hemp industry, the agriculture, and the microeconomics it can bring to areas like Puerto Rico is great. So thank you again. And
So thank you, Harvest 360, for hosting us and getting this venue for us for this fantastic event. So we're going to call up a couple of our other sponsors. So Robert DePisa with Cold Shots, if you can come up. You're going to need a law firm. This is one of the many law firms that is representing cannabis companies in the space. So here you go, Robert.
Thank you. How you doing, everybody? So my name's Rob DePisa. I'm the co-chair of the Cannabis Law Group at Cold Shots. We have been a long-term sponsor of CannaGather, and it's just been great to see this room change. New faces come in, old faces are still here, but you know, I go to a lot of events. I go to a lot of cannabis events, and I'm going to tell you right now, this is what New Jersey cannabis looks like. This room is what New Jersey cannabis looks like. Look around. This is it. People have said it earlier tonight. This room is where you assemble your team. This room is where you find your support, and this room will support you. So I want you to take every opportunity that this room offers you and take full advantage of it. Now I'm going to turn it over to Erica, who's my real boss. Here.
So I don't practice law anymore. Thank you. That's why I smile, I sleep, I get to see my family and get to hang out with friends. So I wanted just to say a little something today because after the last CannaGather event, I was in the cab. Can you hear me now? I was in the cab and I was in deep thought. I wonder why. And I wanted to think about, like, what is it? Why am I spending so much time away from my family? Why is it that this is so important to me? Why is that this cannabis practice is like taking over my life? And why am I so passionate about it? And why are we all doing the same thing? And I think in order to get the message to you all, I have to share a little bit about me and like our journey, and I'll make it as quick as I can. But I know what it is to need legal services. I went through a really ugly divorce. I wanted to think about, like, what is it? Why am I spending so much time away from my family? Why is it that this is so important to me? Why is that this cannabis practice is like taking over my life? And why am I so passionate about it? And why are we all doing the same thing? And I think in order to get the message to you all, I have to share a little bit about me and like our journey, and I'll make it as quick as I can. But I know what it is to need legal services. I went through a really ugly divorce, and I went through 3 lawyers, 3, which was very, very costly because every single time you have to sign a retainer, right? And I went through the 3 lawyers because A, I'm a lawyer and I know what I'm expecting out of a lawyer. I know when I'm getting taken advantage of. B, when you're going through a divorce in the custody of your child or your life or whatever it is, right? Business people, entrepreneurs, this is your livelihood. This is your blood, your sweat, your tears. You need somebody who's actually going to care. You're going to need somebody who's actually going to answer your call. So I finally went to somebody who was in a different municipality. I knew I was going to have to pay more for that attorney to go from Middlesex County to Hudson County. And it was worth it because I finally got somebody who cared. We care. I don't know how else to say it. Like, we care. I couldn't sit here and promote Rob and Mark and the rest of our cannabis group if they were a bunch of phony opportunists. They care about this community. They care about your businesses. They care about your dreams, your aspirations. We all care a lot. That's why we spend so much time here. That's why we're so committed and invested. So that's why I'm getting up here to share a little bit about my story, because I think it's these personal stories that connect us and make us real, make us people, and make us want to work with each other. I don't know how else to put it. So please come to us, tell us how we can help you, not just in a legal sense, in a connecting sense, in anything, right? We're a community here. There's plenty of lawyers here. We're all helping each other, right? So that's what it's all about. Because when this all comes and it's real, we're going to be telling our kids and our grandkids, like, we were part of this movement. We were here, we were there, we made it happen. It's great. We're all going to be in the history books. So let's all help each other be there. And so thank you. Have a great night. We'll all talk to you later.
Thank you, Cole Shots. Is JC in the room? There you go. Hey, JC. JC's going to tell you a little bit about Ease and their initiatives.
Thank you. So I'm with Ease. Ease is an online delivery platform connecting users, adult users, with licensed dispensaries. We're operational in California and exploring other opportunities throughout the country where delivery is legal. And in the New Jersey legislation, once it passes, there is delivery language in the bill. So we will be able to facilitate home delivery between a licensed dispensary and an adult verified consumer or user. And we're happy to be here supporting.
JC will be with us all night, so if you have questions, make sure you speak to her. Next up, Emery OK from RenGen Labs. Give him a hand. He came all the way from New York. Oh, there you go. Okay. All right, here you go.
Hi, everyone. This is me, Emre Okay. Emre Okay. Okay, why literally. We are RenGen Labs. This is Brian. RenGen Labs is an investment platform. So individual investors who want to invest in cannabis companies, private cannabis companies, any check size from $5,000 up to $1 million, $2 million, whatever you can think of. You can find companies on our website and you can make investments. We do pick probably 1 or 2 companies a month. We vet them. We got a team of Wall Street bankers. I'm a former Wall Street banker, private equity, Harvard Business School. So we sit down with the team, do due diligence, do valuation, and if we like the company, like the valuation, we put it on the platform. So please feel free to check our website. And issuers, if you're looking for crowdfunding-based SPV investments, please come speak to us. Send your, fill the form on our website as well. Thank you.
All right, they have a booth over here if you have any questions about their firm. And last, before we get into our programming, is Aiden from Integrated Systems and Services. Aiden, that's a great name. It's my son's name.
Smart man. How's everyone doing tonight? So my name is Aiden Thornley. I'm with Integrated Systems and Services. We are a turnkey solutions, a security solutions provider. So we specialize in everything from video surveillance, access control, visitor management, man traps. We're located here in Eatontown, New Jersey, so we are a local New Jersey company. We try and keep everything in New Jersey, but we will service New York, Connecticut, Pennsylvania. We do everything from the engineering, the design, so you engage with us early, and to the installation and the service. So we do the whole 9 yards. So we've spoke to a few people tonight already where they're going to get us a drawing of their potential facility. We'll give you an estimate. We'll give you a base number. And then you can come to us and we can start to work together. So we have a table right over here with my partner Steve Ludeking. So please don't hesitate. We'll be able to help you with any of your security needs. So all right, thank you guys.
Thank you, Aiden. Appreciate it. We brought some heavy hitters today to give you a review on 2018. So for you newbies, this is very important for you. For you folks who have been here, this is still very important for you. And then obviously some actionable next steps. We're moving into 2019. The reason we didn't choose to do a 2018 review in January is because for the next couple weeks, you need to get ready. It is time to go. It is time to get situated so you can participate in this industry. So I want to bring up these folks. I want you to give them a huge hand. They'll tell you about themselves, but these are industry experts who have been influencing the space for a long time. So first off, I want to introduce my sister, mentor, Gia Morón from Women Grow. If you could go up there, please. A New Jersey heavyweight, very influential in what's happening with this policy. From Archer, good friend, Bill Caruso, if you could come up, please. Nice suit, Bill. And last but not least, to get you a national perspective, we're all the way from Washington, D.C. Give her a big round of applause. Madeline Grant from the National Cannabis Industry Association. And then our moderator for this panel, brilliant guy, Derek Margiotta, if you could come up.
Thank you, Ronnie. Everyone, big round of applause for Ronnie. Yeah? Woo! Wow, a lot of people. This is exciting. We got a great agenda for you guys. Let me just get situated really quick. Yeah, sure.
So if you haven't had the opportunity, there are signs on the wall saying recording in progress. That's actually for real. So right up there, we are recording it live on Facebook. The reason we're recording it live on Facebook is because we have patients who can't come to the event and they want the same education, right? So I would love for everyone during this 30 and 45-minute period to be extremely quiet. Again, if you want to talk to your buddy, go right down the stairs. More than happy to accommodate you downstairs, but we have patients that can't come up the stairs. We have patients that can't afford to come here. So we stream it free, live on Facebook for them. So I would appreciate if you guys just quiet, give them as much attention as you can, and remember, we have a recording in progress. So with that said, I'll see you later.
All right, thanks, Ronnie. How's everyone feeling tonight? Yeah, all right, cool. Well, my name's Derek, and, cannabis entrepreneur, investor. We have a really special program here for tonight. Just really quick, want to introduce our panelists, Maddie, Bill, and Gia. Great people. I'll let them introduce themselves. So here you go, Maddie.
Hi, everybody. My name is Maddie Grant. I work with the National Cannabis Industry Association. I'm our government relations coordinator. So I work in DC on federal issues, focusing on banking and tax and all the issues under the sun with cannabis. I've been with the NCIA for about 2 years now. Previously worked on Capitol Hill for 2 members, and my passion really came when I saw constituents moving from Pennsylvania to Colorado to get access to CBD oil, meeting with those children and families, uprooting their lives to get medicine so their kids could function and live a normal life, truly made a huge difference, and I just wanted to be a part of it. So I left Capitol Hill, and I'm fighting the good fight in DC.
So I have a similar story. I've been in government and politics for about 20 years of my life. I'm going to be 45 in January, and most of my career has been spent working for United States Congressman as a chief of staff. I served 2 speakers in the New Jersey General Assembly, one of whom is now the current Lieutenant Governor, Sheila Oliver. I wrote the 2009-2010 medical law for the state. I was not the sole author, but I was one of the lead staffers. And then I watched it get completely bastardized under a governor for 8 years. And all of the patients that I sat across from and negotiated with and told them we had to crawl, walk, and run, we never even started crawling. So fast forward, I left government in 2013. I joined Archer and Griner. I established the firm's first government affairs practice. I'm a dirty lobbyist. And we killed it. We were doing well, but I was bored. And so I partnered up with my friends in the NAACP, the ACLU, my friend Dr. Nathan, who didn't know at the time he was going to be the head of Doctors for Cannabis Reform, but he formed that organization. And together we formed a group called New Jersey United for Marijuana Reform, built on racial and social justice, looking at what other groups had failed to do in other jurisdictions. We said, not New Jersey. And so what I did is I applied my expertise and understanding of how New Jersey works, and it does work, by the way, but how New Jersey government works, and we applied it in the racial social justice context. And I will say this to you, this organization is second to none. They are absolutely phenomenal. What these guys have built and what everyone here has built. But this community exists in New Jersey. There is nothing like this in any other jurisdiction around the country, around the globe. The partnership that has existed among all of us here and my friends at Cole Shots, absolutely, this is a family that's developed here. This climate that's existed in New Jersey doesn't really exist anywhere else. And fortunately, and we'll talk more about this in a little bit, that's the climate that's going to get us over the hump next month and get legalization on the governor's desk.
So I'm Gia Morón. Can you hear me? Okay. And I'm speaking up because I know that the noise is downstairs and sometimes I can get distracted. I don't know where to begin other than Ronnie, Leo, Josh. I love these guys. So they asked me to do something, I'm there. I am the executive vice president of Women Grow. So to carry on to what Bill said, Women Grow is the largest professional networking organization in the cannabis industry, and our target is to cultivate women leaders. We do not grow cannabis, but we're growing leaders in this space. And in addition to Women Grow, I also have my own firm, GVM Communications, which we focus on branding, public relations, business development, and whoever you want to connect with, you let me know and I can make that happen. Actually, funny thing, someone said to me, I think you're the fixer. And I was like, what does that mean? They said, do you watch Scandal? I was like, you calling me Olivia Pope of Cannabis? I'll own that. But to Bill's point, this is a family-orientated industry, and I'm saying this on purpose. So prior to joining the cannabis industry, I worked on Wall Street for 15 years, and prior to that, I worked in corporate entertainment. And the way I entered meetings was always a handshake, right? And it was always greeting, hi, how are you? Everyone hugs here. So now I'm a hugger, which is unusual for me because I'm like, hi, how are you? I'm Gia Morón. But everyone's like, hi, give me love. And I think that's so key because if we want to create a new industry with a new approach to things, then we have to come with new practices. And if we're doing the same thing that we've done in other industries and expecting different results, you're going to get the same result that you've seen time and time again. So when I greet people with a hug, it's because I love that we're here. Whether you're new or you're a veteran or you're a pioneer, like we're here and these numbers are just going to keep growing and growing. So with Women Grow, my focus has been in focusing on the day-to-day operations, on partnership opportunities, but diversity and inclusion is very important to me, and it always has been for my entire career. And so one of the things that I noticed and what drew me to this industry was that it was led by white men. And I was like, well, hey, I'm from New York. Oh, did I tell you I'm from New York and I'm from Brooklyn? Big up to Brooklyn. So that said, what I realized was that I didn't see reflections of myself in the industry. And you've already heard me say that I came from financial services. Well, guess what? There wasn't a lot of reflections of myself in that industry as well. But I worked on diversity and inclusion and made a lot of opportunities happen. And so what attracted me to cannabis was a number of things. It was one, I wanted to see myself in these senior leadership positions, leading these companies, getting these licenses. I mean, just building ancillary businesses overall. And so I've made it a personal mission myself to identify these talented people and invite them into the industry. And I'm sure we're gonna talk about that, but yeah, thank you.
Awesome, thank you so much, Daddy, Bill, Gia. I really appreciate it. The topic of tonight's conversation is going to be about what an incredible year 2018, what it was, is, currently still is, right? We're still in 2018. And looking forward into 2019 and what opportunities lie ahead and what trends we're really going to be looking at as entrepreneurs, investors, people that are looking at advocacy in the industry. So let's just jump right in. 2018 was filled with a lot of different things. I guess starting at the federal level, Maddie, because you're on Capitol Hill and already, just if you want to give us some highlights, there's everything from the Cole memo being rescinded in January that gave a lot of these cannabis companies a lot of fright and panic to, Michigan, Utah, Missouri legalizing medical programs. And if you just want to talk more about that and kind of,
Yeah, so the day was January 4th. I remember it clearly because it was just everything was kind of uprooted when Jeff Sessions decided to tear up the Cole memo that gave states protections from federal interference. And those protections were wiped clear. So that day, the momentum that got thrown back to Attorney General Jeff Sessions, now not Attorney General Jeff Sessions, but the momentum on Capitol Hill, members of Congress, governors, even advocates, groups, they came back and said, we have to protect our states, you've crossed the line. So we worked hard this year to make sure that we didn't move backwards on Capitol Hill. We wanted to make sure that we got our medical cannabis protections in through the appropriations process. We did make a try on a banking amendment on both the House and Senate side. So that would essentially say that the Department of Treasury can't interfere with any state legal cannabis business operating in state compliance law. Unfortunately, there just wasn't the appetite to get that through yet on the Senate and the House side. There was a lot of debate. There was like a 2-hour debate in the House Appropriations Committee. So appropriations, I can go on and on about it. If you have questions about that, you can come see me. I can talk about that. We did also get some legislation through in 2018. We got the VA Medicinal Cannabis Research Act through the VA committee. So that's good for our veterans, and they deserve to get alternative pain treatments and be able to talk to their doctors about cannabis. And Congressman Gates of Florida got a bill through the Judiciary Committee, the Medical Cannabis Research Act. So that essentially allows, there's only one federal cannabis manufacturer at the University of Mississippi, so that takes it from 1 to 3. So that's really great. So that's kind of the highlights of 2018, I'd say. So, yeah.
No, sounds like a, yeah, round of applause, woo! So Bill, if you want to just go through kind of everything that went through that process in August and kind of the waiting game and,
Yeah, so it's like you're really, really hungry and somebody gives you like a little nibble of cheese. And you've got to run through like a crazy maze to get there to get it. It wasn't the cleanest. It wasn't even planned, to be perfectly honest with you. This governor has basically articulated a plan away from vertically integrated operations. So the surprise, really came. And just take 2 steps back here for a second. It was a surprise to a lot of folks. It wasn't a surprise to folks in the community. And I'm going to go back to just one step here. You pick up morsels here from listening to people, from talking to folks, but I want to point out one morsel. Ronnie said this when he got on stage here tonight. There's another round coming, so don't lose sight of that right now. There's another round coming. Now let's go back and talk about this hot mess of a round that came out of nowhere. They panicked. The governor did something incredible here in New Jersey. In the beginning of this year, this time last year, we had 12,000 patients in this program. We're almost at 50,000 now, okay, in less than a year's time. And that is long, long overdue. And that is a credit. For everybody frustrated right now that Governor Murphy and this legislature haven't moved fast enough, that is a credit to this governor of absolutely putting his foot on the gas pedal through the executive action in March and expanding this program. Won't go into all the details, but really help patients to streamline this program within the boundaries of the statute that exists. They only have the ability through this very narrow statute that passed about a decade ago of where they can go on this. So he doesn't have the ability to go full bore in. with the current regulations, all they had the opportunity to do was put out the same licenses that existed, and vertically integrated licenses. So, you know, everything from grow, process, and retail. We don't have authorized in the statute really anything else. Again, this is a decade-old statute. So they panicked in, you know, late June, realizing that the supply problem was becoming critical. The current operators were not expanding at the level that they thought they would be expanding at, the administration thought they'd be. So in chatting with advocates, they started shopping around this idea, we're going to put out new licenses. And we all went, great. And then we went, well, wait, how are you going to do that? And they kind of shrugged, and we're trying to figure this out. And I have the highest level of respect for Jeff Brown and the department. Those guys have done yeoman's work, but they have been shackled with this ridiculous statute and how they can move through it. So in late July, we got wind that they were going to be putting out this RFA, and they put out a request for applications. We had 800 people attend that delightful meeting at the War Memorial in Trenton. And the month of August was insane. We saw folks from all over the globe descending here on New Jersey. We thoroughly upset, I was going to say another word, but thoroughly upset almost every mayor in this fine state because of the influx of people knocking on doors. And you also have to understand, this wasn't our best foot forward from our side. Mayors who are still learning about this process are being inundated in the month of August when half their council's away on vacation, there aren't normally scheduled meetings, and they're being asked to decide the fate of cannabis on something, by the way, that isn't going to happen for another couple months, and after an election, by the way, where there may have been people up on the ballot. This was not an easy process. So kudos to anybody that was involved. Kudos to anyone that was able to get a letter out of this from your mayor or other town governing bodies. But it was a learning curve for a lot of folks. And there were a lot of people out there that probably weren't ready to be up and running on a vertically integrated operation. Happily, your investment was limited in the sense it was whatever you cobbled together in your own money, and then the $20,000 application fee, which if you didn't win, you will get some of that refunded back. I'm not exactly sure on the time frame of that. There is a time flow to money that the state's looking for money right now. So, but by and large, if you look around the process, a lot of people have said to me, well, politics were heavy at play. This is New Jersey, for goodness sakes. Politics are heavy at play in anything you're talking about. But I will tell you, somebody that's sort of observed this process and looked at what's gone on in other states, I think the department did a very decent job of evaluating. They took their time. These were awards that were supposed to be handed out in November. I think they really they were surprised, I think, at the number and the level of detail. But everything that I've understood about this process, it was well above board. The scoring was done in a methodical way. There wasn't a lot of heavy outside influence. And you can look, I mean, listen, there's no surprise that large, massive outfits, given what the state was looking for, and they were looking on the ability to grow immediately, come in and be able to grow, those folks, there's no surprise to see some of those names out there, but there's some other names in there in this mix as well. So that's it. This is the last round of vertically integrated. What you see is what you get there. The next round coming, though, and we're waiting for the regulations to be adopted that will give a cue to everyone that's watching that now we're ready for our next RFA. Those regulations were supposed to be adopted last October. They have not been formally adopted yet. I suspect we could see that sometime between any day now, the end of the year, or right after the first of the year. But once those are in place, then this administration, the Department of Health, will have the ability now to issue separate standalone licenses for each of these different entities. You will not be allowed to vertically integrate likely until this bill passes after that. Now, our friends from EASE are here. You mentioned the legislation that's having home delivery. There's an ongoing debate right now. I'm probably on the wrong side of the debate for you. The current statute, I do not believe, allows for home delivery. The administration departs company with that belief. And so you may see a home delivery license component to the next round of licenses that come out. They're contemplating that in the regs. They're back-ending in, if folks are familiar with the current statute, the caregiver provision in the current statute to really juice that up and expand upon it and perhaps allow a home delivery component more likely rooted with a retail establishment, not a separate standalone license. But we may see that as a nuanced added effort in the upcoming round. But that's where we are right now. And then the last thing I'll just say to you, well, we're going to get into the legislation piece, right? You want to talk about that separately? Good. Like that.
Awesome. Thanks, Bill. Now on to the capital markets. That's kind of where I come from. It's been an extremely exciting year. We're seeing Canadian companies issue on the New York Stock Exchange, on the NASDAQ. People are making fortunes and getting it all taken away back. I was, really lucky in terms of my capital markets experience in cannabis. But I mean, it's just an exciting time, a lot of investment interest. I read a stat in 2017, there was $3.6 billion invested in cannabis. And now in 2018, not even close to the end of the year, there's $13.8 billion dollars invested. So interest is picking up. There's going to be a lot more in 2019. But if Gia, if you just want to highlight, that's I believe so. Yeah. Or actually, no. I think it is global. Yeah. It is a global stat. Yes. But if you just want to like highlight kind of investing interest in capital markets space in general here in absolutely.
I might stand up just because my legs are cramping. So I'll tell you what's interesting about this year. I entered cannabis in 2015, right? So cannabis finance really wasn't at the top line at that time. And this year, the activity within the M&A space has been insane. Everyone's getting acquired, right? I don't think that's going to change. I think, Maddie, you and I were just talking, we had our pre-talk. I think we're going to begin to see more of this, right? The key is those small companies, especially when this industry becomes federally regulated, those strong companies are probably the ones that will be approached by the big companies. Because these big companies that are coming into the space, they're studying it now, but they're looking for the experts already. They don't want to start from scratch. What they want to do is bring these companies in. So it was really interesting to actually see, all of these acquisitions happen across the industry. To me, that says, as Ronnie and Leo love to say, it's go time, right? It is, because there are a lot of startups, and there'll always be startups, but for those businesses that are establishing and getting stronger, you have to understand you're being watched and you're being targeted, right? Because once this rolls out federally, they want you. And it's actually attractive to be desired, right? Because then you realize we're coming under a stronger umbrella. Now, not everyone wants that for themselves, but I do understand it. And I do believe that, on the Canadian markets, we've seen a lot of companies go public. We're watching now High Times, and they just acquired Dope. And I think I saw another notification that they're looking to acquire Events Company. And I'm like, look how quickly we're expanding. And it's familiar to me because I came from financial services. So I understand, is that rise? Of course there's a drop. Of course there is. But right now, globally, I mean, look at what New Zealand just came on, and we've got yes, right? Oh, yeah, St. Vincent. Yes, St. Vincent. And it's incredible. So I don't know if I answered your question entirely, but I do believe that in 2019, we are going to see more of this. It's not slowing down. Quite honestly, everyone seems to be moving aggressively. I was telling someone earlier that even in the hemp space, right? The next talk is around hemp. And today I received 3 phone calls about how do I get this company? I don't need to start from scratch. What I'd like to do is go in and acquire this company. And I'm thinking, geez, already in hemp? But yeah, it's time. People are ready. And they're not sitting on the sidelines anymore. So I would say for 2019, I expect that the Canna Finance, which is what I like to call it, space will actually increase, be more attractive. In terms of the recruiting folks, I hope you are recruiting more people to the financial space. We need those experts in the financial services space that have the cannabis experience.
And thanks for leading us. No, of course. No, please stand up. It's thanks for mentioning hemp. That leads us into our next big topic of 2018. Just really recently, U.S. Congress passed the 2018 Farm Bill, and a big component of that was hemp. So, Maddie, if you just want to talk about that.
Yeah, so the Senate and the House of Representatives passed the Farm Bill finally, which is good news. Hemp is going to be legal soon here. We're expecting this week or next week, the president will sign the bill to make it fully legal. This means a lot for the industry in general, but it also means a lot for CBD as well, which is great for our patients. And so states that are in compliance with their state law with hemp, the federal government can't interfere because obviously cannabis is still a Schedule I drug, but hemp will not be considered, part of that definition. So this is great news. It's amazing to see what can happen when leadership fast tracks something. So obviously, Mitch McConnell was the one that fast tracked hemp because he comes from the state of Kentucky, which has a thriving industry. So he fast tracked that, which is good, but hopefully we can get some more stuff done next Congress and kind of go off that because people are starting to learn and get more educated on. Congressional members are starting to learn more, what's the difference between CBD and THC, and, you go into offices and they don't know anything basically. So you're just educating. So this is a big legislative achievement for this year, but we're hoping to do more next year. But so that should be signed in this week or next week. And we're looking forward to seeing what other federal agencies are doing. So like the FDA, they need to change their position on CBD because right now it's not in compliance with what Congress is saying. So it's all like a jumbled mess that we're, working to help as much as we can educate the agencies and Congress on what's to come next following hemp and CBD. So.
Awesome. Oh, thank you. So this next one's for all of you guys. So in 2018, there's been a lot of changes. So I just want to kind of go down the line and just ask, how has the industry changed for you over the past year? And what have you seen in the industry that's been changing, whether it's, obviously legislation or products or consumers, interest, investment, what has changed?
Yeah, so working for the National Cannabis Industry Association, we have over 1,700 members that we represent in DC. So you all are here in your state, working away with the regulations. We're in DC, trying to allow states to work and to be legal and to pass regulatory aspects to their laws without federal interference and to get that Schedule I status taken away. But I guess I would say the biggest change is, Gia talked about it, is the transformation from businesses.
I've talked a lot about the inevitability of cannabis legalization, and that has now sort of come to fruition. There is a viewpoint of the majority of people in our state, certainly now a majority of people in our country, that see this as inevitability, support this. And now I've also seen the legitimacy of it. So we talked about there's a lot of M&A activity going on, that the world has embraced that. And you want to adopt policies that are going to attract good employees. So what I've seen, particularly over this past year, and oddly enough, the Cole memo extravaganza, which froze everybody for about 24 hours. And then it was sort of like, we're back to work, everybody's going again. And then it exploded. And you've seen this, I'm sure. You can't get those folks in Congress right now to agree that today's Tuesday, okay? But they all agree now, by and large, majority agree that something's got to get done on medical cannabis. And the money's driving a lot of that. I'm okay with that, by the way. The money, whatever it takes to get you there, that's fine. But legitimacy, inevitability, those are the words of the year for cannabis, not only here in New Jersey, but certainly at a national level too.
I probably would echo the same as my fellow colleagues have said. Awareness has changed across the board, whether if it's personally or professionally. Every industry now is all high alert on this green space. And it's really interesting to see churches are now reaching out, saying we want to know about this cannabis industry. Schools, we're beginning to see colleges and universities integrating this type of education into their programming, which I'm all for. It makes sense. I don't understand how we're going to have an industry and not prepare the next generation to lead it. We're setting ourselves up for failure. I also see awareness just from, I'd say the level of sophistication has changed in the industry. The companies that I saw start out, they're now becoming more luxury brands, right? They're targeting a different, I say the Canna Closeted are now coming out, and now they want their products, but they want these products to speak to their demographic. The other thing that I've seen change, and I love it, is the boomer industry. I love that the boomers are coming out and saying, this is medicine, or this is what I like recreationally, and I'm going to enjoy it. What was interesting over the last year is that I actually sat down with Congress people that I would have never thought I would sat across from. Republicans that are like, listen, we just want this. And you're absolutely right, Bill. It's everyone that wants this, and maybe it is money that's driving it, but what will it take to get us over the line? And are we prepared then for it? Because I love how everyone's running to the line, but if we're unprepared, my gosh, we'll get squashed like cockroaches. So it's exciting to rush this, but I say at the same time, we've got to get all of our ducks in the row. And the quicker and the faster that it's moving, I'm noticing a lot of mistakes along the way, just like, so for example, you mentioned New Jersey, and I'm sorry, I just want to sidebar. You mentioned New Jersey, and I thought to myself, why were the officials surprised by the number of applications? Right? Like, they were like, oh my God, it's 140 something applications. I'm like, yeah, because people want to get in this industry. And I want us to stop becoming so surprised.
We started our effort here in New Jersey after watching other states to our west kind of screw it up a little bit. And not on purpose, they just sort of had a ballot referendum, started putting a license process together, a bunch of white dudes got licenses, and that was your industry. And then they went, well, we don't want that, and you can't go back after that. It's very difficult to go back. It was some anecdotal. There was one state decided after they looked at their industry, oh wow, this is all white people, and they gave a license out to a group of black farmers. That's an unconstitutional process. You can't do that. So it's very difficult to go back and do this. So you got to do it right the first time. And so Jersey's poised to be one of the first states in the nation to adopt a legal effort, a legalization effort with a regulated market. Vermont did a statutory legalization effort, but they didn't create a market. We're struggling to do that right now. We're struggling to do that by making sure we get expungement right, by making sure we actually have real ex-offender language in the bill that will allow folks that have either been incarcerated or been arrested with a criminal record to come into the sunlight and be part of this industry now. These are difficult tests. And by the way, to write into law constitutional incentives, set-asides, if you will, to ensure that this industry looks like one of the most diverse states in the nation. This is really hard stuff. It takes lawyers, it takes racial and social justice advocates, and it takes an education movement, and it takes conversations with legislators to understand this. And that process has been developing. We've had, last CannaGather, we had Jamel Holley, assemblyman from Union County. He's done yeoman's work. I mean, he's been a spark in the legislature, really kind of drive a lot of this effort. People like Annette Quijano, who's the chairwoman of the Judiciary Committee, she has really taken the expungement and put the expungement factors and put pen to paper. And now we've been educating mayors about how we're going to pay for all this. You mentioned the need to actually, you got to have some money in this, and you got to redirect that money to pay for these things. So the racial and social justice movement is actually driving the legalization effort. And in fact, in certain municipalities around this country where we have legalized jurisdictions, they're incentivizing folks that were part of the illegal market to actually be incentivized to get licenses. So we've seen overlays on municipal ordinances that will create their own set-aside programs. Set-asides are difficult, though. And in order to make sure, and this is a very litigious area, okay? We just awarded 6 licenses. Wait till you see what type of litigation comes out of who wants to challenge. There's always the ability for somebody to kind of try and knock somebody off the peg. So we've got to make sure the statute's right first. If it's not, you start with a flawed statute. So it's not to say we don't want racial diversity. We want to make sure that the racial diversity that's baked into this law works and isn't susceptible to legal challenge. So that's been the struggle here in New Jersey, but it's been absolutely driving this effort. You can't walk, I've said 2 things that you can't walk down a hall in Trenton with. You can't walk down a hall in Trenton without a legislature stopping you and asking how much more revenue we're going to raise. That's good. I'm absolutely fine with them being curious about the revenue they're going to raise off of this. That's a good thing. But they're also talking about the diversity issues. They want to understand this better. I had a long conversation with a senator yesterday in the hallway about making sure that this gets right. We've done good work in making that happen here. So I think everybody in this room, everybody that's been associated with this movement should really feel good about that. That's what's slowing things down, though, but that's a necessary evil to get this right.
So I'm taking a minute just to think about the words that I'm about to say. So I'm going to tell you first off the back. I am Black, I am Latina, I am a woman. Okay? So that said, I check off a few boxes, and I've been doing that my whole life. So when I hear people talk about diversity and inclusion, I'm thinking, how many different ways do we have to tell you and explain it to you before it's done? We've heard it in every industry, yet we've yet to see the results. So when I hear it in cannabis, I'm gonna say that's bullshit. I'm calling bullshit on it. Thank you for the sound effects, I need my hype man. But that said, is that we talk about this, and it's not just in New Jersey. I want you to understand it's across the industry, but it is go time. Let's stop talking about diversity and inclusion. Let's start seeing it. And it's outside of government. There are ancillary businesses. Are they waiting for the governor to sign before they become more inclusive? Are we waiting? Like, let's do it. There are talented people, brilliant minds in this industry. All it takes is some interviews. Tap into the communities, tap into the organizations. I am not going to pinpoint anyone, but what I will say is there are a few diverse organizations in the industry, and there are only some companies that will support only one and then say, check, we've supported minority-owned businesses or minority-owned organizations. I'm sorry, that's not enough, and that's inexcusable. And I will call it. And I have no shame in calling it because we can't keep talking about it. At some point, we have to do it. And we have to prove these results because we see this research that says African Americans only make up 3% or whatever percent. Well, when are we going to see those numbers rise? At some point, we have to hold not just these feet to the fire, but also I'd say from the communities of color, let's stop waiting for someone to say, oh, we welcome you into our doors. No, we're gonna build our own fucking door and do it ourselves. And I apologize if it sounds too passionate for people, but I've worked in financial services, so I watch and I listen to these excuses for years. And it's unfortunate that here we are in a new industry, but what I love is that we're talking about it now. It's early. Which means that 10 years from now, it's inexcusable if we're still having the conversation and not implementing more diverse and inclusion, getting social justice right. I mean, hello, how many different ways do we need to say? You can't lock up Tyrone and them for some dime bags. They had on-the-job training in the University of Life. You need them. It's time. I want Julio and all of them to come in. It's time. There's nothing wrong with on-the-job training. We've seen it in other industries. Now we've gone legal, and they should have the opportunity to do that. So that's my passionate stance on that.
That was amazing. Thank you so much, Gia. and Bill and Maddie. So one last question before they kick me out of this place. 2019, exciting year. Is anyone going to go out on a limb and say that the feds are going to legalize? Huh? Maybe? No? But what should we expect as the industry here in New Jersey, as a group of entrepreneurs, advocates, investors? What should we look for in the coming year?
Yeah, so we're super excited for the new Congress. The Democrats took back the House of Representatives. So we're going to get some stuff moving, more hearings. Maxine Waters will be chairing the Financial Services Committee. So we have our champions chairing our committees, so that's a good thing, because also Pete Sessions is gone, so he can stop blocking our amendments through the Rules Committee, so we can get more things moving. We're also going to make an attempt too for more protections. I mean, we want to legalize fully, but being realistic, I don't think that we're there yet. I think Congress as a full isn't there yet. So we're going to make it another attempt at, the McClintock Amendment that gives all cannabis businesses, not just medical protections from federal interference from the DOJ, which we had a vote on in 2015, and it lost by like 7 votes. So if that went to the floor again, that would most definitely pass. So that's appropriations, medical protections, banking, protections. Any banks operating in state compliance shouldn't have any interference with the DOT. These are just some of the few things. I think what's important too is to create comprehensive legislation. So now there's like over 50 bills at the federal level addressing all these issues. So, figuring out how do we make a more comprehensive bill that everyone can get on and be behind. And also, with the gridlock now with the House being Democrat and the Senate being Republican, what will actually move and get through the Senate? So these are the questions that we've been talking about and strategizing about. We really want to make some changes this new Congress, and I think a lot more people, and this is my thing, is educating members of Congress and their staff about what's going on, because there's so much turnover on Capitol Hill that, you go into an office and one day you meet with a staffer and you're like, okay, these are the issues, this is a banking issue, this is a 280E issue, this is what's going on in your state, these are your constituents. Then you go in, and it's another new staffer, and it's not a priority in these offices. So it's really getting our boots on the ground. We have our lobby days, setting up those meetings, have people come tell their personal stories, have patients and veterans and business owners telling exactly what we need from the federal government. So we're really excited about the new Congress 2019. And I think that's pretty much it. So we're really going to start amping things up in the new year.
Well, I share your enthusiasm at the federal level. It's the first time we've seen really the level of activity. It's amazing. I remember in the late 90s, early 2000 of members shopping around a Dear Colleague letter trying to struggle to get members to sign on in support of medical cannabis. And today we've got members introducing their own bills on every aspect of legalization. Here in Jersey, and I think it'll dovetail, I do think we're going to see some profound change at the medical level in Congress. I think that will dovetail into what we're doing here. I do expect our legislation, legalization and expansion of medicinal and the racial and social justice components of expungement are now in a separate standalone bill. I do expect that package to pass hopefully before Valentine's Day and be on the governor's desk. So that's the boldest change I think you're going to see here. Yes, we are going to beat New York, by the way. Don't believe the hype. We're going to happen. So. More importantly, though, I think you're going to see a profound expansion here in New Jersey in terms of licenses, the availability of licenses and what you're going to see. And I think what we're going to see here in New Jersey is going to be something different than what we've seen in other jurisdictions. If you look particularly at the medical expansion bill, there's a lot of nod towards medical research. And remember where we sit. We're in the Garden State. We're an economy built on agricultural research and agricultural industry, and we're also built on pharma research and the pharma industry. Those bones are here already. We have phenomenal research institutions and medical facilities, and dovetailed into what's going on at the federal level and hopefully the loosening of that. I think what you're going to see here is profound abilities to really reinvest now in the research and development side. Rutgers University, for example, has one of the premier agriculture research institutions in the nation. So there's so much innovation going on, not just, by the way, in the hemp space, but also in the cannabis space related to agricultural research. I think that's going to be a derivative economy that's going to pull out of our cannabis effort and really explode. And that's where you're going to see all sorts of very good jobs at a high-paying level with great benefits really starting to revitalize this economy here. That's not going to happen this year, but the bones are built for that right now to capture that. And I think that's the type of industry you're going to start seeing influx into our state once this legislation comes and this world opens up. So I'm very excited about where we're headed.
So I'd love to echo that because I do agree. You, as the New Yorker on the panel.
Sorry, wasn't throwing shade your way, just keeping it real.
No, but you have to. And I've actually heard Leo say to New Yorkers, "You welcome." And he's right. You guys lit the fire under New York, and I thank you too, because
Nixon helped too.
Listen, I think there are a lot of people that have played a part, and she absolutely did. But the interesting thing about New Jersey is exactly what Bill said. You have the power to actually see more research coming out here. And to Maddie's point, that same research could end up on many of our regulators' desks and help educate them, because part of the problem is that they don't have the up-to-date information to bring them up to speed. So I believe we will begin to see more of that in the new year. Where are the ladies at? Because I see you. I expect to see more women-led, women-owned businesses in the new year, okay? And I'm gonna speak on behalf of the women, because what I do understand is that women are consistently looking for capital to support their businesses. And there's always a struggle, and New Jersey can absolutely create that space to support women-led and women-owned businesses. And it should happen here, why not? So, you know, I couldn't represent Women Grow and not speak on behalf of women, because I did say I am a woman, but I understand the importance of it, because back to Bill's point, this is a pharma state. And what we know about women is oftentimes we are the caregivers of our families. We're the decision makers. So I expect to see more women-owned, women-led businesses making decisions on behalf of their communities. Even more so, helping to educate communities about what is unfolding in our industry. I expect to see more M&A happening. I expect to see a lot of growth, especially in this state. And I'm really excited for New Jersey on what's to come, especially you know, with the attitude that you've got more licenses. It's not over. We're only just beginning, and we have to keep that momentum high. Otherwise, when these bigger businesses come in, it's very easily for them to take over. So we have to remain strong, we have to remain vigilant, and continue to uplift each other. Thank you.
In short, ladies and gentlemen, it's go time. In New Jersey. So let's get to it. I want to thank our panelists. Thank you so much. Thank Ronnie. And just one more thing. Quick shout out to mom and dad who came here, supported me. Thank you so much. Yes, awesome. Thank you. Leo.
Okay. What's good? Okay. So I guess y'all expect some sort of a victory lap, right? No. I told y'all 6 months ago, it's about to go down. Me and Ronnie brought you whoever you need to hear, the horse's mouth a couple of times. If you are someone who is truly about that life, you should be working your ass off. If you are someone who's actually really doing it, you don't have an ass because you've already worked your ass off. Literally. The other day I was on the phone with my sister Gia, and we were talking, and I was telling Gia, remember I was telling you how faces are starting to bleed together? I don't know, like there's so much happening, and every time I turn around, something else pops up where the possibilities get even bigger. The most disheartening part about it is a lot of times I'm in the room by myself. Gia had a point, and so did Bill. I mean, first of all, hands to this wonderful panel we put together. Madeline, you know what? I forgot, we did DC together, girl, that's right, yeah. Hey, if y'all don't do that NCIA lobby day, you need to take your asses down there and start doing it. I did it, okay? May 21st. So listen, a few weeks ago, we had CannaGather New York, and I stood in front of everybody. I kind of got in my feelings. I had a moment, like I normally, y'all know what it is. Yeah, so I had just gotten wind of, the whole thing with record expungement. Pissed me off. And I took that pistivity into CannaGather. Mind you, right, and I don't know if Josh is here, but I owe Josh Weinstein a big apology because I was just on the phone with him not even the day before. And Josh, me and Josh were talking, and Josh went in on me about, having something to say and saying something and being brave enough to say it when he felt it, and he was feeling that. And I was hard on Josh, but it was great. And then the following day, this news drops on me, and everything that Josh had just said to me the day before had come to pass, and I forgot to let him know. So Josh Weinstein, I love you for that, brother, and I owe you. Well, goddamn, shit. Josh Weinstein, everybody. Sorry, man, I didn't even realize you were sitting there. See, I told you all y'all don't look alike, shit. Anyway, so, we all black when the lights go out, right? So, I was upset, and the advocate in me was coming out, and I was angry. And then I started expressing myself to my CannaGather family, my tribe. And afterwards, folks started pulling me to the side and saying, hey, man, I had never seen you like that before, man. So that must be really deep. And the whole time I'm sitting there thinking, that damn Josh, he just jumped on my ass the day before. Anywho, what's today's date, folks? Ronnie Soto, what's today's date?
February 2020.
See what I mean? See what I mean? Today is February 20th, 2020, if you about that life. You should be in the midst of planning for whatever's going on or wherever your business should be by February 20th, 2020. That's where you should be if you were serious. Because the things that are coming down the pike for this industry, in particular how it plays out here in New Jersey, are going to be monumental. When we talk about, the social aspects of it and everything that is wrong with this industry, it is an indicator of an industry in its infancy stage. It's a form of this chaos. It's still too young. And what we are poised to do, and what these fine folks were trying to explain to you, is that we have an opportunity to bring order to chaos, but there's a way to do it. As me and Ronnie have been saying for months now, This requires a particular type of micro and macro level way of thinking. Now, I'm done with being in this room and hooping and hollering and preaching to the choir about everything that I think is wrong with this industry. I'm done with that because I'm working. We're working. And to be quite honest with you, I would like to see more of us go out of talking shit to this crowd and preaching to the choir and go inside that state house and talk that shit right next to me, because I could sure use some help. I'm dead ass serious. I'm pulling everybody's cards now. This entire legislative effort, this entire journey, as I said before and I'll say it again, has been one big ass civics lesson. It is schoolhouse rock in real life. And what we have to do now is we have to be deliberate and we got to start coming out of the closet. What you see up here is a change in the reference point of how people view this industry. If you are someone in this business and you are in this room, this is your house. This is where you come to do commerce, to talk amongst each other, to do business. The kind of curious that are here, the newcomers and everything, welcome. But you understand something, you're a visitor in our house. And there are certain words and there are certain conversations that are just a little too advanced right now, but that's okay, we'll catch you up. Welcome, but we got work to do, y'all. That being said, let me pay some bills right now. First off, yeah, I just got carried away there a little bit. No, not done with the, nope, I can't even, I'm not even going front. Next person I'm gonna bring up here in front of you is a real treat. This is one hell of an individual from Florida. She is the founder and CEO of Minorities for Medical Marijuana. We just won the Industry Organization Award. That's right. Roz McCarthy, everybody. Come on up, Roz.
Hey, I need you guys to stand up and give it up for Minorities for Medical Marijuana because we are the Industry Organization of the Year. Let me tell you guys, thank you. First and foremost, if you are a part of M4MM, if you are a member, or if you are on our leadership team, Gia, that includes you, please stand up. I want you to see some of these beautiful people in the house. Raise your hand. We got Monica. We got Gaetano. Stand up, brother. I want you guys to understand that 2018, talking about the theme, that we competed, and I shouldn't say competed, but the work that we're doing is so important. I love coming here to CannaGather. Thank you so much, Leo. Thank you so much, Ronnie, for having us, because we always meet people who are like, yes, I need to connect with you guys. I need to be intentional in working with you guys. I need to find out how can I get connected. Everybody needs a tribe. Everybody needs a home. Sometimes you need a place to go where I feel comfortable and I can have conversation. M4MM is your tribe. I don't care if you're black, brown, purple, yellow, white. We love everyone. We want you to be a part of us. In 2019, I want you guys to know that social justice is going to be a big time issue for us. I want to give a shout out to Woah, who just came on Woah Trenton just came on as a corporate partner, and we are going to be specifically focused on social justice issues and expungement in Trenton. So if you want someone, they put their money where their mouth is. They found out an area that they're committed to, and we love you guys, and we're going to work hard together. So if you're not a part of the organization, if you want to be a part of us, we want you to join us. But I just want to say the theme for 2019 is be intentional. All right? Be intentional. Don't talk about it, be about it, be intentional. Thank you, guys.
So I told y'all, right? You know, one of the things I love most about, you know, being in this industry at this point, particularly with the relationships that I've been able to develop, you know, you have to, first and foremost, y'all know what it is. We got to stay humble. And when you got somebody like Roz McCarthy in your corner, you got Gia Morón, who's always like, you need to read this. And and Ronnie, I'm her favorite. Yeah, I put that out there. I put it in the universe. Yup, I'm out. So one of the things that as you see, we like to, you know, prop up those of us who are making moves in this industry and also doing things from a political standpoint to help better this industry. A few months ago, I was in LA, and I'm on the advisory board for the CWCBE, the Cannabis World Congress Business Expo. And while I was there, when I showed up at the LA Convention Center, I went to pull my bag out of the cab. And when I grabbed my bag, I was on the phone, and I grabbed my bag with one hand, and I pulled it. And when I did it, I felt a pop in my shoulder. And a few seconds after I felt that pop in my shoulder felt like it was on fire on the inside. Then a few seconds after that, my hands felt like it was on fire. So I knew I did something. And mind you, I'm walking into the LA Convention Center. My shoulder was hurting so bad that I forgot to take the do-rag off when I walked in. But Roz was the one who told me I had the do-rag on. But you know how they say God works in mysterious ways? So as I'm going up to drop my bags off, a friend of mine's introduced me to another gentleman. And we're talking about, you know, a CBD product and what he has and stuff like that. And I'm trying to carry this conversation, but I'm like this, you know, and I'm like, okay, yeah, right, okay. And I finally couldn't, I couldn't take it anymore. And I said, look, fellas, I gotta run. I hurt my shoulder, blah, 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 blah. And this guy right here, Ezel McDowell, he says, oh, nah, man, here, I got this for you. And he gave me a jar of his CBD product. I put that stuff on, went and dropped my bag off, had a cup of coffee, had some vegetables and everything, had a couple conversations, y'all know how I do. And before I knew it, I forgot my shoulder was hurting. It wasn't hurting. And you know, like sometimes you got to try a product before you actually believe in it. Okay, I tried this product under the worst of circumstances because I was truly, truly injured. And this man's product worked so well, and I got to learn about his business platform that I just had to have him come out here on the East Coast because, as I've been saying, it's go time. So I want to bring Ezel up here. I want him to talk a little bit about what it is that he does. Everyone, Ezel McDowell with You Can Love This.
Hey, how's everybody doing? You told me make it quick. I got 60 seconds. I'm gonna be as super quick as I can be. I love plants. It's simple. First thing I want to say is thank you to everybody here. I want to say thank you to my ancestors for making me possible, and that's the first thing I always have to do. I give thanks every day, all the time. First thing, all right? Oh, sorry. Speak up. Speak up. I deal with plants. I don't deal with chemicals. I've been giving out free samples back there. I hope everybody gets a free sample. If you want a sample and you don't get one, talk to Leo, talk to Ronnie. I'm here for 7 days. I'll be flying back to LA on Sunday, and we are building a white label service for people that want to sell our products that I make. And again, they're chemical free. If you're familiar with shea butter, coconut oil blends, hemp oil, all natural, all plants.
All right. Hey, everybody, how you doing? Wow, it's seriously, I've been here many times. It continues to be such an honor. We're Citron Cooperman. My name's Harry Carpenter. I'd like to introduce my team. We're sitting over here at the booth. Please come by and visit us. We're the leading accounting firm in the industry. You know, it's ironic because we're the only accounting firm here, and we continue to be the only accounting firm in the industry. And honestly, it's an honor. You know, before I get into introducing my team, something that was interesting to me was Roz is here. And I came to my office last week, and I opened up my mail, and I have a handwritten note, a happy holidays card from Roz, and I'm like, wow, we really made it, you know? I mean, honestly, it was such an honor, and I'm so happy to say, Roz, thank you so much. I really, thank you so much. Thank you. So I'm gonna, you know, I'll just use my time honestly, just to say a couple things, but most important thing I want to do is introduce my team, okay? Because I'm nothing without my team. We work together. We all have different backgrounds. I mean, my practice group with the firm is about 30 people in cannabis. We're up and down from Boston down to Maryland. We serve clients nationally and internationally, including clients in Canada, London, and Greece. So we're excited. But please, let me introduce my team. Okay, I have Dan Lamb. I have Steve Ferreo. I have Neil Pacifico. And at the end, I have Marilyn Garcia. Please come by, introduce yourselves, say hello. We'd love to meet you. We are serving applicants in the licensing process up to and including some of the largest cannabis companies in the country. So honestly, whatever you're doing, we're part of the community. We're just as passionate as everybody in this room. It really is a pleasure to be here. So come by and say hello. Again, Harry Carpenter from Citron Cooperman. Thank you, everyone.
Oh man, no, man, please. Okay, is Aaron Balber with Lewis Chester Associates? There he is. All right. Man, welcome aboard.
All right, thank you, everybody. I want to thank Ronnie and Leo and Josh and everybody else at CannaGather to put these events together. They really, really are great events, and just a beautiful venue to be here tonight. My name is Aaron. I'm from Lewis Chester Associates. We are an insurance firm located in Summit, New Jersey. We've been in business now for over 70 years. We've done a lot of work here in Hoboken. We insure all types of businesses and real estate. I know that, you know, a lot of times I'm the, you know, the downer dude because I got to talk about all the bad things that can happen to your, you know, your new business that comes along. From the simple things of a slip and fall in front of your building to pipes bursting to something more serious, you know, product liability, you know, with pesticides, just like the way that a few dispensaries up in Boston got shut down. A lot of that, you know, is so a lot of times out of your control, but unfortunately, you guys are on the hook for that. Everybody along the supply chain in that case gets a little bit bloody along the way. So, you know, we're here to make sure you mitigate your risks, all right, and all your perils are covered. I would be remiss without saying that, you know, I know a lot of times you're at the beginning of your venture, but, you know, if you do have business cards and you started a website or you started a Facebook page or an Instagram page, you have already opened yourself up to a certain amount of risks. All right, even that you don't have your business officially up, but if you're publicizing it, which you probably should, because you want to give yourself that advantage, you are open. You know, you're opening yourself up to a certain amount. So, you know, a real basic business operations package, all right, you know, to get yourself going would be a very smart thing to do. All right, just to make sure that, you know, we talked about before, a lot of you guys are going to put your blood, your sweat, your tears, and most importantly, a lot of your money on the line to get this thing off the ground. You want to make sure that you're protected, all right, and that's what we're here for. All right, thank you, everybody. Happy holidays.
Okay, everybody. I'd like to thank Nicholas Camiotti with Bressler, Emery, and Ross. Diane Nickerson with Cat's Eye Security. And I'd like to thank Woah for being our sponsors for tonight. Listen, guys, when we talk about 2019, for me, what I predict that in 2019, everybody in here who said they about this business should be closing whatever kind of deals or partnerships that you've made while attending CannaGather events in 2018. Okay? Paperwork should be signed. Lawyers should be assigned too. My lawyer, Jessica Gonzalez, is somewhere around here. You know, Cold Shots is here. Look, y'all, it's go time. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I'll see y'all at work next year. Oh, wait, we gotta pick up a winner. Okay. Leo Bridgewater, no, I'm just playing. Adam Amrod with Space Cannon. I can pick him. Adam Amrod, Space Cannon. Oh, there it is. Hey, all right, Adam, come get your gift. All right, guys, now we're going to clear these chairs out, and we're going to party till about 2 o'clock in the morning.